So what happens when a company that basically lives and breathes in the digital world decides to make a very physical, very real impact on the ground? Well, we're going to follow a journey that connects the world of online business to the remote hills of Nepal, where building a school means a whole lot more than just writing a check.
This quote right here, this is pretty much the heart of the entire mission. It's not about some abstract idea of charity. It's about a deep need for tangible, visible change. This is the core belief that sends a team from behind their keyboards all the way into the heart of the Himalayas.
Okay, so what would make a group that's focused on reforming education online suddenly decide to build schools with actual bricks and mortar? This first section is all about that, the why. We're going to explore the philosophy that connects their digital work to this incredibly powerful physical mission.
I love this because it really shows you the two sides of the coin here. On one side, you've got the digital world, where they're trying to improve education for people who already have access. But then, on the other side, there's this physical mission to give the very first opportunity, a real seat at the table for kids who have absolutely nothing. It's what they call a full circle approach.
And this quote just brings it all home to the human element, doesn't it? The team knows that their day-to-day is spent staring at screens, talking numbers and business, but to be able to connect all that work to the real-life joy on a kid's face, well, that brings a kind of fulfillment that money and business just can't buy.
So, they had the mission, they had the motivation, but actually getting there? Whoa, that was a whole other story. The journey itself was this intense challenge, physically and mentally, and it demanded way more than just a financial donation.
Yeah, forget any idea you have of a normal road trip. Their first real taste of the local reality was this car ride. Can you imagine being rocked back and forth on the edge of a cliff for hours? It was so bumpy they said it felt like being on a boat in a storm. And that was just the beginning.
And the challenges just kept piling up. Those treacherous roads sometimes got completely blocked by active landslides. And all the while, you're dealing with this constant sense of culture shock. And then, on top of all of that, there were the very real dangers of the jungle itself.
And this is where things get really, really intense. This isn't some story from a nature show. This actually happened to the family of a little girl they met. Just the week before they arrived, a leopard came out of the jungle and took her 3-year-old brother. I mean, luckily he survived, but it's just this terrifying reminder of the daily risks these communities are living with.
So after that absolutely grueling journey, the real purpose of the trip finally comes into view. This next part is all about the payoff, the culmination of all that effort, the school openings, and the huge emotional impact it had on literally everyone involved.
Sometimes these simplest things are the most powerful. 3. That's it. That's the number of new schools, of new beginnings that opened on this single trip. It's just a simple number, but it represents an unbelievable amount of work and hope.
And this quote right here, this captures that exact moment when it all clicks. You're standing there, shaking a child's hand at the school you helped build, and suddenly it all becomes real. It's not some project on a spreadsheet anymore. It's a direct, personal connection to a life that you might have just changed forever. Being there in person, it makes all the difference.
Just try to imagine this. You arrive after hours of insane travel and you're met by hundreds of people. People who had walked for miles, making their own long journeys just to be there to say Dhanyabad. Thank you. The welcome was just this overwhelming wave of flowers and gratitude. It really showed how much this meant to the entire community.
And from the community's perspective, this school isn't just a building. It's where they place all their dreams. It's the starting line for future doctors, for a new generation that will have opportunities their parents couldn't even imagine. Their prayer is simply for the success of these kids.
But here's where the story gets even bigger. This isn't just about one team's trip. To really get the full impact, we need to look at the incredible history of the charity they partnered with. It's a legacy that was set in motion decades ago.
Okay, this timeline is just wild. The whole thing started with a simple promise between two army buddies back in 1991. And get this, when they decided to build the second school, they had less than £1 in their bank account. Can you believe that? From that single act of faith, this huge legacy was born, and it's still going strong today with more projects already lined up.
And this right here, this is what brings it all together. The charity's founder is totally clear about it. Their work is only possible because of partners. It just goes to show that this team's contribution wasn't just a one-time thing. It's a vital piece of a much bigger story, one that's been going on for decades.
So, in the end, it leaves you with this big question, doesn't it? Where does a real, lasting legacy actually begin? Does it start with a huge bank account and a fancy plan? Or does it start with something as simple as a promise between friends, an act of pure faith, with less than a pound to your name? This whole journey, from pixels to purpose, seems to suggest that the most powerful legacies often have the most humble beginnings.